Nigga Tank said, he said, I'd advise you not to talk so much.
Bruh.
It could be bad for you, but you already know that though.
I don't know where you got that from. Oh.
With less than 4 weeks to go until fight night, the anticipation for Tank versus Lamont Roach Jr. is at an all-time high. Both fighters are making it clear they're ready, whether it's through intense training or heated exchanges online.
Little big bro coming out with the upset. A lot of people are going to pick Tank going into that fight, but how do you see that playing out?
I see my brother walking out victorious. No, there's no doubt. Not because that's my brother, but because I seen him.
Recently, a training video of Gervonta Davis surfaced online, showing the 30-year-old sharpening his hand speed with the mitts. The clip quickly went viral, sparking mixed reactions from fans and critics. However, one person who paid close attention was his opponent, Lamont Roach Jr., and what followed was a heated physical altercation between both camps.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling him, you saying you going down in a 9th?
Just hours ago, premier boxing champions took to Instagram to build excitement for the fight, posting, "We're ready." On March 1st, undefeated boxing superstar and WBA lightweight world champion Gervonta Davis returns to battle against WBA super featherweight world champion Lamont Roach Jr. live on PBC PPV, streaming on Prime Video from Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. The post immediately grabbed the attention of fight fans, but it was Lamont Roach Jr.'s reaction that stood out. He quickly reshared the video on his Instagram story with a bold message, "Upset alert." That was all it took to spark conversation, making it clear that Roach believes he's about to shock the world. It's a big statement, especially considering Gervonta Davis's reputation as a knockout artist. His last fight in June ended with an 8th-round knockout of Frank Martin, just another addition to a decade-long streak of finishing opponents early. But Lamont Roach Jr. isn't an easy target. The Washington native holds an impressive record of 25 wins, just 1 loss, and 10 knockouts. Last year, he put on a dominant performance against Figo McLean, dropping him once in the 3rd round and twice in the 4th before sealing the victory with a stoppage.
30 pounds. Whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and weight to make you look good again.
One challenge Roach faces is moving up in weight. Gervonta Davis competes in the lightweight division while Roach has been fighting at super featherweight. That could give Davis a natural size advantage when they step into the ring. Despite this, Roach remains confident that he can take down the WBA lightweight champion. Boxing has seen its fair share of shocking upsets, and Roach is determined to add his name to that list. Things escalated further when Ring Magazine shared another training video of Gervonta Davis. This time Tank was seen working on uppercuts under the watchful eye of his trainer Patrice Boo Harris. "Just touching up with Tank," Harris said in the clip. The video sparked a heated debate among fans. Some criticized Davis, claiming his hand speed looked slower than usual, with one commenter even saying Shakur Stevenson would have no problem outpacing him. Others dismissed the criticism, arguing that Davis's speed was irrelevant because his power alone would be too much for Roach to handle. Some fans even questioned why Davis was fighting Roach at all, believing there were bigger names in the lightweight division he should be facing instead. The biggest moment of tension came when the two camps recently crossed paths. This time it wasn't Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach who nearly got into a fight, but Davis's trainer Calvin Ford and Roach himself. The moment their eyes met, the atmosphere shifted. Words were exchanged, tensions rose, and before anyone realized it, Ford and Roach were face to face, shouting at each other. Ford, always passionate about his fighters, wasn't going to let Roach's confidence go unchecked. But Roach, never one to back down, stood his ground and fired right back.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's Hawaii, and say, "Who do you want next?" And Tank's going to say, "I want all those guys." And they're going to go to the press conference, and Elliot Setback's going to say, "Who do you want next?" He say,
For a moment, it seemed like things were about to spiral out of control. It was the kind of situation that could have escalated into something much worse, but before it turned, physical security and members of both teams stepped in, pulling them apart just in time. The tension didn't fade though. That moment made one thing clear: this fight isn't just business, there's real bad blood brewing. The mind games have already started. Roach's confident prediction of an upset isn't just for hype, he truly believes he can win. But Davis, the favorite, has seen it all before. He knows how fighters try to rattle him, but he doesn't just talk, he delivers. His track record speaks for itself, and if Roach isn't fully prepared for what comes with stepping in the ring against him, he could be in for a painful lesson.
Competitive, and I feel like I'm the best, so I'm assured.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
I ain't worried.
While Roach's supporters are hoping for an underdog story, Davis fans are expecting another knockout highlight. This fight isn't just about belts or records, it's about pride. It's about proving who the better fighter is when all the talk is over. Roach wants respect, he wants to shock the world. Davis wants to remind everyone why he is considered one of the best in the sport. Gervonta Davis's year has already been a roller coaster, and it's only February. First, there was the cryptic retirement talk that sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Then came the new haircut, sparking speculation about whether the undefeated knockout artist was going through a personal transformation that could signal something bigger, maybe even an exit from the sport.
I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter.
Fans were left unsure. Was the 30-year-old champion really about to walk away from the ring at the peak of his career? But just as quickly as the retirement rumors started, they were drowned out by something far more reassuring. Videos of Tank training again. He wasn't just hitting the mitts for the cameras. He was sharp, explosive, and moving like a man with something to prove. That was enough to silence the doubters and bring excitement back into the air. Davis was back, and with his March 1st showdown against Lamont Roach Jr. fast approaching, it was clear that his focus was locked in.
I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
While the Roach fight is almost set in stone, the real question on everyone's mind is what comes next. The lightweight division is packed with talent, and Davis has a target on his back. Shakur Stevenson has been calling for the fight, Devin Haney is always in the conversation, and even legends like Mike Tyson have weighed in on what's next for Tank. But one of the most unexpected twists in this ongoing saga came from Saudi Arabia. His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, the man behind boxing's recent boom in the Middle East, has his eyes set on bringing Davis into the Riyadh season fold. The Saudi power player has been making waves by organizing some of the biggest fights in modern boxing, and now he's targeting Davis. The question is, will Tank take the bait?
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducking.
Mike Coppinger of ESPN recently sat down with Alec for an exclusive interview and, as expected, they discussed the fallout surrounding Jake Paul's canceled fight with Canelo Alvarez. But the real bombshell came when the conversation turned to Gervonta Davis. Alec didn't hold back. He made it clear that he wanted Davis to be part of the mega fight scene being built in Saudi Arabia. More specifically, he expressed interest in setting up a blockbuster matchup between Davis and Shakur Stevenson. "I hope one day to see Shakur against Tank," Al-Sheikh said.
People in the world that I think that could beat Tank. That would be Devin, that would be Shakur, and Tank Davis himself.
You got the last one right. That's the only person that can beat me, Gervonta Davis. That's the only person. Them niggas cannot touch me at all. They all been in the ring with me. They all been in the ring, and I cracked both of them.
For those keeping track, this was a surprising turn of events. It wasn't too long ago that Davis had gone on an online tirade against Ring magazine after being snubbed from their awards event in London. Given the strained relationship between Davis and certain boxing media outlets, it seemed unlikely that a bridge would be built anytime soon. But Al-Sheikh, ever the businessman, made it clear that he doesn't take things personally. "I don't take anything as personal. I am professional," Alec explained. "I don't need to like you to talk with you."
One day, seeing Shakur against Tank.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you and Canelo Alvarez were not on the same page last year. Now you are. Gervonta Davis You're giving an invitation to Gervonta Davis.
I don't take anything as a personal. I take it as I am professional.
It was a straightforward statement, one that emphasized his focus on the bigger picture, making the best fights possible. There was no denying that a Davis versus Stevenson fight would be one of the biggest matchups in boxing today. Coppinger pressed further, noting that Alex seemed to genuinely appreciate Davis's skill set despite any issues between the fighter and certain corners of the boxing world. The Saudi royal nodded in agreement. He is a great fighter, of course. No doubt about this, Al Sheikh said, but we need to see him in big fights more and more. That last sentence stuck with many fans. While Davis is an undisputed star, there's always been a lingering criticism about whether he's taking the biggest possible fights available to him. With Devin Haney moving up to 140 and Shakur Stevenson staking his claim in the lightweight division, the pressure is mounting for Davis to prove himself against the other elite names in his weight class. And if there's one person who's been vocal about that challenge, it's Stevenson himself.
Your reaction to Tank retiring?
He's retiring?
That's what he said.
Nah, he not retiring. It's a lot of big fights to be made out there, and Tank knows that. I don't think he's gonna retire, with a lot of unfinished business.
While the immediate focus is on Davis's upcoming fight against Lamont Roach, the name that keeps coming up in conversations about Tank's future is Shakur Stevenson. Stevenson has been relentless in his pursuit of the fight, making it clear that he sees a showdown with Davis as inevitable. During the Ring Magazine Awards Gala in London, Stevenson didn't hold back. He called a potential fight between himself and Davis the biggest fight in the world. That's not hyperbole. In terms of sheer skill and intrigue, a clash between Davis's devastating power and Stevenson's slick defensive mastery would be a dream fight for boxing purists. But the build-up has been frustrating for Stevenson. He's heard Davis send mixed signals about the fight, and it's starting to wear on him.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Who that?
The Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming his name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
In a later interview with Dev Sunny of Queensbury Promotions, Stevenson vented his frustration. I remember watching interviews where he says he's going to come get me and I am on his list, Stevenson said. And then he's like, what has Shakur done for boxing? Who is he? He seems very bipolar. It was a rare moment of exasperation from the normally composed Stevenson. He's been waiting for this opportunity, but Davis has yet to commit to making it happen. That uncertainty has only fueled speculation about whether Tank is avoiding the fight or simply waiting for the right moment. And while Stevenson is eager for the challenge, he's not the only one who wants to see it happen.
Boxing, nigga, like that's when I look at y'all two as the best in the division. How? Show me something that he did spectacular. Show me something that he did outrageous. Show me.
Right,
his power not outrageous.
Okay.
What defense?
You think he got defense?
Mike Tyson has never been shy about giving his opinion on boxing's biggest matchups, and when asked about a potential Davis versus Stevenson fight, he didn't hesitate to weigh in. Wow, that's a good fight, Tyson said on the It Is What It Is podcast. What made Tyson's comments even more interesting was what he said next. He didn't just pick Davis to win. He emphasized how important the fight would be for Stevenson's career. It would be a very interesting fight. Tank will bring out the best in him. Tank is just a monster, Tyson explained. Coming from a man who knows a thing or two about being a knockout artist, Tyson's words carried weight. He seemed to suggest that while Stevenson has all the tools to be great, facing someone like Davis would be the true test of his potential.
Hey, Shakur, like I was telling Bud, it's either you or Keyshawn's gonna get tanked, so the walls are closing in, so awesome.
It's gonna be him though.
It makes sense, he's closer.
Big brother first.
Absolutely.
Gervonta Tank Davis remains locked in and focused as the March 1st showdown against Lamont Roach Jr. draws near. Despite the distractions surrounding his career, retirement teases, social media outbursts, and ongoing speculation about future super fights, Davis continues to do what he does best: prepare for war. And if history has shown us anything, It's that when Tank steps into the ring, fireworks are almost guaranteed. But for all of Davis's dominance, Lamont Roach refuses to be written off as just another victim. The 130-pound champion, moving up to challenge the WBA lightweight king, knows the odds are stacked against him. He understands the narrative. Tank by knockout, another brutal finish for the highlight reel. Yet, Roach has been grinding away in the gym, convinced that he has the formula to disrupt the Tank Davis show.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog. And, he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm going to show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together.
Lamont Roach is under no illusion about what he's up against. Davis isn't just a puncher. He's a finisher. A ruthless tactician who reads his opponents like an open book and punishes the smallest mistakes with devastating precision. Tank's knockout ratio speaks for itself. It's not just that he wins, it's how he wins. Roach's approach? Push Davis into deep waters, stay defensively responsible, and if the opportunity arises, test the Baltimore native's chin. Roach's recent destruction of Foul MCC gave him the confidence that his power is improving, and against Davis, he believes he can find the right shot, the perfect opening.
It's going to be a party
And
on your floor.
I'm going to let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the, what's the name? He was shaking on the,
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking. How you going to say his cap? And you going to say his cap?
But there's a stark difference between stopping McRow and stopping Tank Davis. The latter has never been dropped, never been seriously hurt in a fight, and has never shown any real signs of vulnerability when it comes to power. Roach, a respectable but not elite puncher, will need to bring something special to break that trend. That's where conditioning comes in. Roach knows that an early knockout isn't the most realistic scenario. If Davis can take his best shots, Roach is prepared to go the full 12 rounds. That's where he believes his discipline, work rate, and endurance will shine. I'm expecting it to be a great fight, and I'm prepared to go 12 rounds, Roach stated. It's a bold mindset, but confidence only goes so far when you're staring down one of the most vicious finishers in the game.
So we fought in the regionals in Baltimore in his hometown. It was a close fight. Obviously, I thought I won. There was like an incident where a point got taken from both of us, and it only should have been him, or whatever the case may be. And we sent the tape to USA Boxing.
While Roach is keeping his head high, not everyone is giving him much of a shot. Former Tank Davis opponent Rolando "Raleigh" Romero has seen firsthand what happens when you're on the receiving end of Tank's power. Romero, a solid puncher himself, lasted until the 6th round before Davis detonated a single left hand that left him in a heap. And from where Raleigh is standing, Lamont Roach is walking straight into a nightmare scenario. Everything is in Tank's favor, Romero told Fight Hype. He's not a better boxer than Tank, he's not a bigger puncher. He's not bigger than Tank. He's moving up in weight, so that might affect him, make him a little slower. Tank has a crazy IQ. Tank has the better legs. You can't make a claim for any of this stuff. Romero's breakdown is ruthless, but not inaccurate. Tank Davis is a natural lightweight with elite-level explosiveness, while Roach is making the jump up in weight for the biggest fight of his career. Historically, fighters moving up to face Tank haven't fared well. Leo Santa Cruz, a 4-division champion, was brutally knocked out, and Mario Barrios, a naturally bigger fighter, was overwhelmed and stopped in the later rounds. The pattern is clear. If you don't have the power to keep Tank honest, you're in for a rough night. The only thing is, Tank has an off night, Romero added. That can always happen to anyone, but you can't make a claim for any of this stuff.
Tank and Lamont Roach. Is that the right opponent for Tank?
I don't know why everybody is kind of sleeping on Lamont, but he has a decorated amateur career too. He's a very steady kid. He's very skilled. Tank is Tank, and when I say Tank is Tank, I mean like he's a bad man.
If Gervonta Tank Davis has heard any of the noise, he's certainly not showing it. Despite all the outside speculation, retirement talks, Saudi Arabian offers, and the potential super fight against Shakur Stevenson, Tank is in the gym putting in the work. Training footage has surfaced showing Davis as sharp and explosive as ever. One thing that has defined Davis throughout his career is his ability to block out distractions when it's time to fight. While social media antics and personal controversies have followed him throughout his rise, they've never bled into his performances on fight night. Davis is dialed in. His preparation for Lamont Roach has been no different. In camp, Tank is reportedly focusing on what he always does, refining his timing, sharpening his counterpunching, and ensuring that his gas tank is full in case he needs to push deep into the later rounds. The reality, however, is that Davis is a finisher by nature. He rarely lets fights go to the scorecards, and if Roach is planning for a 12-round chess match, he might be playing into Tank's hands. For Roach, this is a career-defining opportunity. A win would immediately catapult him into the pound-for-pound conversation and set up even bigger fights down the line. It would be the ultimate underdog story, the kind of victory that shifts the entire lightweight landscape. For Davis, this is about keeping his momentum going.
Beat his ass and y'all talking. For real. So y'all better be quiet.
His name is already being mentioned in conversations alongside Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, and Saudi Arabia wants him for mega fights. A win keeps those discussions alive and ensures that Tank remains one of the most sought-after names in boxing. Anything less than a dominant performance will raise questions, and Tank doesn't like questions. He likes answers. But how do you think this goes? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates. See you in the next one.